Hi everyone, in this video I'll show you a little bit about how the world environment works in Godot, what we can do with it, and we'll also go through each tab and what they do. I will also show you a little bit about the lighting, what you can do with it, and also show you how to use Voxel GI. So for now, let's start by deleting this tree, so we can add a new world environment. Here, as you can see, we can add a new world environment. When you click on it, all the tabs appear. So now, this is where we start, the background tab. Here we can choose what the sky looks like. The basic one is clear color, which uses the project default background color. There is custom color, which you can use to pick any color for the sky that you want. There is sky, which we'll be using the most. There's also canvas, which uses 2D canvas as a background. There is keep, which keeps the last thing that the camera saw as a background. It's intended, not a bug, but it works like that. And there is also camera feed, which uses a real camera as a background. So let's go with sky, since this is what we'll be working with. Here in the sky tab, you can choose a few different types of sky. Starting with Panorama sky. It uses a HDR image as a sky, which is great for realistic environments. Next is Procedural Sky material. It creates sun, sky color, and a horizon. There is also Physical Sky material, which is similar, however, where Procedural Sky is more artistic and flexible, Physical Sky is more realistic and physically accurate. For the last one, the shader material. Here you can use a shader as a sky. This one allows you to create really cool artistic sky, but it's more complicated topic, so we won't really talk about it here. Next, let's go back to the Procedural Sky, because this is the one we'll be using. And let's add a Directional Light 3D. And now the sun changed places. It's now on the side that the Directional Light 3D is emitting light from. And let's try rotating it. You can see sun moving along with it. In the inspector, you can see we have a sky mode option, and there is light and sky, sky only and light only. Light and sky make it so light both appears in the sky as the sun and also emits light. Light only emits light, and sky only appears as a sun but doesn't actually emit light. So now let's add another Directional Light 3D, and let's put it somewhere next to the first sun. In here you can change the color of the sun, so let's make it purple. But as you can see, sun makes the whole scene purple, so let's make it that it's sky only, so it only shows up in the sky but doesn't actually emit light. We'll also change some options here. Maybe energy make the sun bigger. Next, very important, on the main sun, we'll activate shadow. Shadow is what really makes a scene look nice. Now let's change to physical sky material for the moment. And the purple sun disappeared. Why? It's because physical sky is more realistic and only allows one sun. You can have two light sources, but only one will appear as a sun. There are also some options when you click on it. Since we're focusing on the procedural sky, I won't talk about the physical sky ones. So let's go back to the sky material and change back to procedural sky. Here you have different tabs. Like sky, for example, you can change the sky color. You can change the color of the horizon. You can change the curve. You can change energy. There's also ground, where you can also change the color that appears underneath. There's also horizon for the ground. Let's make it similar to the sky horizon. And there is also sun. So now, first of all, there is ambient light. There you can change the source to background disabled color or sky. We won't really use it much. We instead use global illumination, so I'll just leave it at disabled. Same with reflected light, let's just disable it. Next is tone map. This is similar to a word filter. There is linear, which is raw and flat, not very realistic. There's Reinhardt, which has softer highlights. There's also filmic, which is cinematic contrast. There's ACES, which is the most realistic with color and brightness. And there's also AGX, which keeps bright areas from blowing out and dark areas from going black. We'll stick with A6. Now for the next four, you have to have forward plus enabled, so you can see it in the top right corner. So starting with SSR, it has space screen reflections, so it works well for water, metal and glass, but it doesn't really work with stuff like mirrors, because it doesn't reflect the player. We'll keep it off because I don't really intend to use it in this scene. Next, SSAO. It adds shadows in the corners and creases. Make sure to use only small values or it will look too strong. Next, SSHR. It adds light back into the corners. Again, here also small values looks best. Next is global illumination. Makes light bands around the scene. You can notice some light leaking through the walls. We'll fix it with Voxel GI. So let's add a Voxel GI node and scan it to cover the entire house. Now we bake it. As you can see, light immediately looks much better and more natural. Here, when you click on data, you can also enable interior and adjust the energy and propagation until it looks right for you. Now we're done with that, so let's go back to WorldEnvironment. Here, next thing we'll talk about is glow, which makes bright areas bloom, which basically means that it spreads light from bright objects. So you can choose how to blend it. Additive adds light on top. Screen brightens without darkening. Soft light uses gentle glow, more natural. Replace replaces the original color with glow. And mix blends glow with the image. So next is fog. Finally something simple, this one just adds fog. You can make it exponential or depth. In depth you can decide where the fog begins and where it ends. You can also change the fog color. Also density. As well as sun scattering. So as you can see, right now we can see sky through the fog. After changing this, you can see it shining through. Here next, you can make it so the sky actually is visible through the fog. So combining this at the right values, you can make a nice effect of sun breaking through the fog. Next is Volumetric Fog, which is also fog, but this one scatters light better. You can also change color for this one, but as you can see, this one doesn't have depth, although you can still change density the way that global illumination is injected into the fog. And there's also the sky effect, which also allows you to set how much of the sky is visible through the fog. Next are adjustments, so the name speaks for itself. Starting with brightness. So brightness makes everything brighter or darker. Contrast makes bright areas brighter and dark areas darker. And saturation controls how strong the colors are. Let's just use small values so it looks natural. As you can see now, the world looks much better than it looked before. Of course, you can still add some stuff and change the values to however you see fit, so it works the best for you. One thing you can also add is stuff like reflection prompt, but we won't really go into that here. So let's take one final look at what it looks like in-game. What do you think? Much better than before, right? So if this video helped you in any way, leave a like and subscribe, and maybe write a comment about what kind of tutorial you would like to see next. Thanks for watching.